Hi, I'm Matt with etrailer, and today we're going to be talking about the Kuat Piston Pro X bike rack on the back of our 2023 Kia Sportage. Now this is going to be one of our more premium options we have on our website, and it's going to have a lot of safety features built on it. So let's take a closer look at it. So the first thing you're going to notice is we're going to have a dual wheel mount system, and it's just going to make contact with either one of our tires, so it's not going to make any contact with our frame. So that's going to be a great option if you have any carbon frame or alternative frame bikes, or even bikes with fenders too. We're also going to have a weight capacity of up to 67 pounds, so we'll even be able to accommodate your heavy e-bikes too. We're also going to have a tilt-away feature, and to use that, all you have to do is pull this lever and tilt it back towards yourself. Now be careful if you do have two bikes on here, not to hit yourself with one of those bikes. And now we have access to a hatch. That's going to be great if you have any groceries or you need to access it for anything else. Like if you want to get ready for your ride, you can take a seat, tie your shoes, or take out your helmet too. But after when you've grabbed everything you need, you can shut your hatch and put this back into the seated position. And to do that, all you have to do is lift up on the carrier until it clicks into place. Now this is a little bit of a heavier carrier, and if you do have those really heavy e-bikes on here, that is going to be quite the lift. But if we want to take a closer look at this carrier, we're going to have to take off our bike. To do it, it's really quick and easy. All I got to do is grab my frame, come over here to one of these buttons on the piston, press it down, and that will release that arm, and then you can push it out of the way completely. And you'll just do the same process on the other side. And now we're just going to lift up on the bike, take it off, and then take it for a ride. And now we can take a closer look at those trays where the bike sits. So you'll notice a couple of grooves in it, and that's to accommodate different size tires, from your skinny, standard, to your 5-inch fat tires. Now we want to make sure we put these arms back up, and if I try to grab this mount, it's not going to move. We actually have to press this button to release it, and then we'll have that ability. And with it in this position, you'll see that we have these two buttons that adjust this brace, and what this is for is to accommodate different wheel sizes. And I'll just do the same thing on the other side. And when we look into the center, we'll notice we have this hole with a lock core, and what that's used for is to use your included bike cable lock to secure your bikes on here so no one can take them off. As for how it's going to sit on the back of here, if I go from our back bumper to the back of the carrier, that's going to sit at about a little bit over 23 inches, which is actually pretty good, but it's also something to think about if you're in any tight spots, like a parking spot or garage. As for our ground clearance, if I'm going from the ground to the furthest point out, that's going to be a little bit under 21 inches, which is also pretty good, but it's also something to think about when you are lifting those really heavy e-bikes on here. Now this does have a fold-up option, but if you fold it up, we're going to make contact just slightly. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is something definitely to think about when you are driving, and it's just barely making contact. So if you're on any bumpy roads, this is pretty solid. I wouldn't think it's going to make any big movements or contacts against your car. But if you don't want it making any contact, then I would recommend not folding it up at all. But if you do choose to fold it up and you don't mind it making just a little bit of contact, this is how it's going to look and interact with the back of your car. Now it is going to completely block your backup camera and your license plate. Whereas your taillights and back window, that won't be obstructed at all. Now, we can take a closer look at these lights we have installed on here, and that's where that extra safety feature comes in hand. So when you drive down the road and you're worried about someone getting too close to your carrier, you'll have these lights to let you know, let people know that not to get too close, and if you're using your brakes or turning signals too. Now we have the 2-bike configuration today, so it is sitting below our tail lights, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. If you had the 4-bike configuration, then I'd start investing in a carrier with lights. But as for how it installs, we're going to have this 2-inch shank, and that's going to go into your 2-inch hitch receiver. Then we're going to have this pin that goes through and connects to this locking core on the other side. That locking core is going to use the same key system as your included bike cable lock. And at the very back of here, we notice we have this anti-rattle device. That actually takes a special Allen key, which is at the very top of your carrier. Also locks into place too. And you can tighten it on from here. And right next to that, we'll see our wiring for our carrier. So if you do want to get this and you want to use the lights on it, you need to make sure you have 4-pole wiring installed in your car. Overall though, I think this is going to be a solid choice if you're going for the 4-bike carrier. If you're going with the 2-bike carrier, then I don't see a lot of reason to get those lights because you're still going to be able to use your tail lights. If you want to get a 2-bike version, I'd actually recommend just sticking with the Piston Pro. It's going to be the exact same thing as this, only it's not going to have lights. Now, if you don't want something as premium as one of those, I'd recommend the Rocky Mounts guide rail. It's going to work very similar to these using a dual wheel mount system, only it's not going to have all the premium features, making things a lot easier to use. But if you do like those premium features, then I'd recommend either the Piston Pro X or the Piston Pro. But if you liked everything that you saw today, let's just look at the Kuat Piston Pro X bike rack on the back of a 2023 Kia Sportage.
We're going to take it out here on the test course. First thing we're going to do is hit the bumps. We're just going to see what it's like if we did hit some speed bumps. I'm watching the bike, watching how it holds on the tires. It looks like it moves just a little bit, not too much. This is mostly standard with other bike racks, so nothing to worry about. The bike doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Now we're going to go a little bit faster in the parking lot. I'm going to take some aggressive turns and see how it handles there. Looks like it's fine. I see a little movement again, but again, the bike's not going anywhere, so I don't have to worry about it.